answers are going to be. And you might see things a little differently than I did in setting up the questions. Say, oh, okay, that's acceptable. And then you'll do even better. Tissue.
Carotid.
I'll say, don't jump too quick. Take it all in. This is actually from a pig to show you how much easier it is than for human. But I know you can still tell the tissue. Look at it here. Okay. You see porosity. This opening, this opening.
Liver.
Liver, right? Gotta be liver. You can tell what this is.
Portal vein.
And this.
Central vein.
Blood gushing in, percolating through, out the central vein. Portal vein, central vein. The thing with other mammals, their lobules have septa, connective tissue around them, which humans don't have. So it's actually easier to identify hepatic globules than other mammals. You have these nice boundaries, these septa. I say, yeah, this is easier in a pig liver versus human. But still, it's liver. It all adds up to that tissue, percolating blood through those cells. What compartment does this come from? Colon, stomach, duodenum, ileum, esophagus. It's only partial section, but you got your lumen, you got your wall. We actually teased it out to show some sub-graining there. But I thought you could still tell me what that's a section or a partial section from.
Esophagus.
Which of the 5 compartments? And sometimes it's as important to see what's not there than what's there. Do you see villi?
Mm-mm.
Small intestines out. Do you see gastric pits and gastric glands?
Nope.
Stomach's out. Do you see crypts and goblet cells? Crypts with goblet cells? Nope. What's left? Yeah, this is esophagus, stratified squamous, and that's it. Stacked cells on the luminal surface, gotta be esophagus. So that's why I say you sort of get organized between now and next week in looking at your 4 pages. Okay, that really gets you so that you know what you want to look for, or to discriminate in these slides to make these identifications. And then this was just to tease out the muscularis externus so you could see the grain difference. Circular at 4 and longitudinal at 5. Where's this from? Be specific.
The ileum of the small intestine.
Boom, gotta be ileum. Why?
Peyer's patches.
Perfect Peyer's patch. Lymph nodes all linked together. What are these?
Goblet cells.
What are those?
Goblet cells.
Well, the entire structure. This, and this. What are these 3? Villi. Fingers, right? What are these? Crypts. At the base of the fingers. Now, true, there are a lot of goblet cells, but I would have them much more magnified if I would ever have to identify those. small for any good identification. But it's just seeing the fingers, the villi. So these are the villi, what's this? That entire structure. What are you gonna call this? Isn't that a hill? With the trees? So this is a plique, right? A pleat, and now these are the villi, the trees on the hill. All right? Even though a node is nestled up against it, it's still a plique. So it runs throughout the small intestine. But here, you see Byers, gotta be ileum. That's the main identification. Name this tissue. Not compartment, tissue.
Parotid.
Looks just like parotid, doesn't it? What tells you it's not? Textural shifts. The texture looks a little different. Islets. And I say if you can identify it here, you'll never ever have trouble with pancreas. Because this is the toughest you'll ever see for pancreatic identification. Because it really pushes you to see the slight difference that we find with islets, which you never find in the parotid. Little textural differences here, another one here. I would always show you many of them. Those tell you it's got to be pancreas. Little islands of difference. Okay? So that's a tough one. It's good that you would even initially see it looks just like parotid. All dark cells. But then you look around a little more and go, ooh, these are a little different. All right, let's finish. This was just to accentuate the difference between goblets and mucus cells. Why at least you are never allowed to use the name synonymously. Nothing will get you a wrong faster than trying to call a goblet cell a mucus cell, even though they do the same thing in producing a kind of mucus. Well, we use a special stain we call a PAS, which turns high-quality mucus into magenta. Low quality, it just looks fuzzy. You see the high quality, magenta. So those are goblet cells. What are these?
Mucus cells.
Villi. So you're in the small intestine, staining for high quality mucus producers, the magenta. But then it's much more muted. It's a different formulation, what I call a weaker mix. When you see this, and this, and this, you're in the submucosa, it's staining positive for mucus, but it's weak. What are these? Brunner's glands. Mucus producers, completely different from goblets. So it's just a neat preparation to show a real difference in what those cells are doing. The high quality magenta versus the muted Brunner's gland. That's just a fun diversion there. Just to finish up, needed you to see the perfect specimen for this tissue. So we've cut things open here You know what this is,
Stomach.
the stomach. Inside,
Ruben.
beautiful rugae. So this one was completely empty when they died. You get the best rugae. You then have the lower end, and now you get that little tube right there. Out of the stomach. Duodenum. You know what this is?
Gallbladder.
Shrunken gallbladder, right lobe of the liver, which has largely been cut away to reveal this combined structure. All of these together, porta hepatis. Portal triad is a microscopic structure in the tissue. So don't confuse that. This is the porta hepatis. It ultimately radiates in to form the portal triads. And I would have you only identified as the porta hepatis. It's sort of all jumbled together here. But the best thing about this slide for you as a professional is to see this tissue. Nice and focused. Which is nestled into the duodenum. It's all right here, right on the edge. And it continues plastered against the posterior body wall here, and you see it all the way out to here, nestled up against the spleen. What is it?
Pancreas.
Pancreas. The perfect anatomical location for the pancreas, which you see is behind the stomach, plastered against the posterior body wall. But it nestles initially into the inside curvature of the duodenum. So this is all pancreas, so we call it transpyloric pancreas. All right? But if you remember that or have that in your mind, it will serve you very well for any problems having to do with the pancreas, where you know it's plastered against the posterior body wall behind the stomach, not hanging down in front of it. This is where you see it most often depicted or dissected form. Tissue, high magnification shouldn't throw you. Polyidine blue, pretty blue, shouldn't throw you either. You see porosity? Gotta be liver. So it's a higher magnification than you tend to see it. But you can still see the lines of cells, cords, you see the spaces, sinusoids, you see the cell nucleus in the space, cell, Kupfer cell, you say the nucleus in the space, so these are Kupfer cell nuclei. Right. Draining away, this is the central vein. Blood's percolating through and out you go. But overall, just a different colored specimen for liver, but the structure is the same. Weaning you away. Compartment, higher magnification, but still pretty obvious.
Colon.
Look at all the bubbles. Colon, high magnification of the colonic wall. With all the goblet cells. It's just one of the greatest lines for goblets. Oh. Name this salivary tissue. Next week, instead of just saying name this tissue, I would help you and say name this salivary tissue. So you go from one tissue in 10 to one tissue in 3. Your odds have vastly improved. What's it going to be?
Sublingual.
Look at all the mucus cells.